Coming to you live from the Mistopheles Studios, it's Dark Fringe Radio.
I try to move, but my body won't work. I try to talk, but I lose all words. All that ever slips from my face are teeth and dreams I can't take. Waking for.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dark Fringe Radio. I am your host, Will Martinez, and thank you for joining us on another journey through the paranormal, conspiracy theory, and true crime. Of course, can't do this by myself. I have friends. I have people that help me. Can't do it solo. And of course, my best friend, Jay Galosi. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Not a whole lot. William, I know you're talking about you're going to walk us through all these conspiracy and the true crimes. We're actually talking true crimes tonight, friends.
Yeah, true crime tonight, baby.
You're going to lead us through a maze of conversation, but your glasses reflect that you're playing Pac-Man, motherfucker.
I'm not playing Pac-Man, dude. How am I playing Pac-Man?
Like you're playing Pac-Man. You're playing Pac-Man.
No Pac-Man, brother.
Stop it. Pac-Man. You can see it.
No Pac-Man, brother. No, that's actually
Whap, whap.
see, look, scrolling. But no Pac-Man tonight, guys. Tonight we're actually getting into the true crime, just like what Jay
Pac-Man?
said. Mrs. Pac-Man? No.
You dirty motherfucker.
It's not Mrs. Pac-Man. I'm not playing Pac-Man, I swear to God. But like what Jay said, tonight we're going to get into some true crime stuff. And the topic for tonight is my neighbor is a murderer, or was a murderer.
Killer neighbor.
Yeah, killer neighbor. So,
Killer neighbor, William.
yeah, we're going to get into that tonight. So this
Such
is going
a
to be
serious title. It's the
yeah.
murderer next door.
Next door. Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
It's the killer neighbor,
With
man.
Robert Stack. You got to get Robert Stack to say it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Robert Stack. Huh?
Here we go. Yeah.
William has a Robert Stack, just so you guys know.
A picture. Yeah. We'll get into that later. But yeah. But that's going to be the topic for tonight. But before we get into all that, we're going to get into some Dark Fringe news. So, Jay, there's a couple stories I wanted to talk about tonight, which I thought were very interesting. First things first. Wow, that was bright as fuck. Did you hear about this sinkhole in Chile?
No, but I don't travel there much.
Well, yeah, and Jay, let me tell you, this thing is fucking massive. This thing goes, it's fucking massive. It's 656 feet deep, bro.
It's not like the planet is revolting.
Oh, it's crazy, man. And then let me show you this picture real quick. Let me share the screen so that way you can see the magnitude of what I'm talking about here. But
let me see the size of this stink hole.
So you see this thing? Is it showing? Can you see it, Jay?
Oh, I see it now. Oh,
yeah, look at that thing. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
Okay.
That's pretty fucking big, bro.
Scary
man.
As fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you see this picture right here, because this picture right here, you see like the buildings, and you really see how fucking massive it is.
Well,
and not only that, another thing, I'm sorry to interrupt, Jay, but not only that hole, you see it, it's how dark it is. That shows you how deep it is, because if it was more shallow, you'd be able to see the reflection of the sun.
Light.
There's no light.
Yeah, no, there's no light.
Fuck that, bro.
Scary.
Yeah. Well,
why are you doing this? Why did you bring that up? That's why are you doing that? It's terrible.
Hey, listen, and here in Florida, we're known for sinkholes, bro. You know, I think it was like 10
underwater.
Exactly. And what was it, like 10 years ago? There was that guy in Tampa who got swallowed by a sinkhole while he was sleeping in his bedroom.
10 years ago. I think it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, he got swallowed by the earth, and they could never find him again. Gone.
Yep.
Gone. Just gone. You'll never find him. Yeah, that's a great way to go. So, yeah, man, I just want to give you a little bit of terrifying nightmare of things that can happen, especially in Chile. But yeah,
this is
crazy. Guys,
just so you know, this is because I'm not going to go to the Nightmare on Elm Street thing.
That already passed. You got away with it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got away with it. I didn't go either.
Will's got to do other shit to upset me because he knows that the.
No, please.
No.
But that brings me to my second story here, Jay. Yeah. Oh, but actually, speaking of that, Oddly enough,
What?
segueing into our next story. Yeah, I'm talking about butts. Check this out. A shipment of baby wipes turns out to be $11.8 million worth of cocaine. You want to see the baby wipes, Jay, real quick?
I do actually, yes.
Do you? Look, hold
I
on.
do.
Let me show you.
know this. I want to see.
Look at this. Look at that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yes.
That's not baby wipes, babe. That is pure cocaina.
Wow.
Look at all that. That is stacks on stacks. $11.8 million worth of cocaine, Jay. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers discovered more than 1,500 pounds of cocaine hidden in a place where you would least expect it in a shipment of baby wipes. The narcotic seizure occurred last Friday at Laredo, Columbia Solidarity International Bridge, according to the agency in the news release. The bridge, located on the U.S.-Mexico border, connects Laredo, Texas, over the Rio Grande with the Mexican state of Nuevo Leon. So the officials say that CBP officer of the Laredo Columbia Solidarity Bridge stopped a tractor trailer from bringing in a shipment of baby wipes for a secondary inspection. Following the inspection, drug-sniffing dogs made a discovery of what CBP described as 1,935 packages of cocaine, totaling 1,500 pounds of worth $1.8 million, Jay. So, man.
What you're saying is someone.
How many of those? Someone's dead, but how many of those get through? You think? I mean, you find one, and you find one, and it gets in the news.
It's been documented that on the shores of Miami, what washes up. There's actually in Boynton, but in the business model, they actually take in that as a loss, like
right. They calculate a loss,
with pens and shit that people just have in a pocket and walk off. It's just
8% loss.
All right,
yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
So a lot of it.
I mean, even here in Boynton, we're a coastal town, so we're right here, right off the right there, and there's cocaine that washes up on the shore here all the time. I mean, it happens at least 2 or 3 times a year in Boynton alone. So imagine.
There's a restaurant up here in Jupiter that will remain nameless. That is, there's rumors that the land and whatnot was bought with found cocaine.
Probably,
possibly. I mean, that's just a rumor, and I'm not giving out names because I don't need those kinds of issues.
Yeah, I like Jupiter. I hear you. Yeah, you don't need those people on your back. But crazy story, Jay. Baby wipes, baby wipes, actually cocaine. Man, that's some crazy shit. But listen, they're getting creative.
It's literally crazy shit.
It's crazy shit. They're getting creative though. That's pretty fucking good. I wouldn't expect baby wipes. That's pretty good.
Come on, man.
That's good. I like that.
Come on, man.
That was a good one.
Ingenuitive.
Yeah, they're very smart. So that brings us to a finale of Dark Fringe News, and we're going to get into Jay's segment, which is What the F Florida Man. And Jay, what do you have for us this week for What the F Florida Man?
Really?
Pause. I'm sorry. By the way, I am going to surprise you here, Jay, with something. I am fucking getting sick and tired. This is a fucking edit right here, like a motherfucker. Let me say something right now. I am getting sick and tired of people ripping us the fuck off. Do you know how many people now do a segment that is What the F Florida Man kind of based off now?
I assume a lot. I mean,
4 different podcasts, Jay, that I found recently that do the same fucking thing. Variations of it. Yeah.
Imitation is often the biggest form of
flattery. Absolutely.
So that just means they're listening, and we appreciate them subscribing.
Yeah, we do. And you know what? We were the first ones to do it 5 years ago. We've been doing this. So you know what? You guys just caught up. Congratulations. Hello. Yeah, exactly. Congratulations. You know what? You thought you were getting fucking some baby wipes? Nah, bitch, you got some cocaine. So that's what you got.
You got crazy shit. What you get.
But Jay, sorry to add my editorial there. Please, Jay, what do you have for What the F Florida Man? That was great. I had to. How to get off my chest.
Rican. I haven't seen you like that in a long time. The freaking Rican. Been a minute.
Yeah, man.
All right. We're going to take it down a notch.
Yeah.
We're going to smooth out for what the Florida man. You're going to like this. This is a love story, William.
Love story gone bad.
Florida man. Wielding machete. Dead after breaking into home and telling the sleeping resident, "I love you."
Wow, that's a new one. I mean, that's a real quick way to get into a woman's heart, right?
Apparently, it's a quick way to get into a casket.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so give me some more deets on this here, Jay. I mean, give me the details on here. What's going on?
Let me set the scene for you. Fruitville.
Please.
Fruitville, Florida.
Fruitville. I don't even know where the fuck that is.
Up there towards Tampa.
Up
there towards Tampa. Sarasota-like, even.
Got you. Okay.
Thursday morning, police are called. A homeowner who was sleeping in an apartment attached to the gentleman's home.
Okay.
Was called saying that she had heard the man sharpening his machete with a baseball bat.
Okay, that's odd. All right.
She calls and says, "I have an intruder who broke into my home. He's got a damn machete, and he's a little whacked."
Yeah. He's coming in there with the machete. So was this like this was a love thing gone wrong, right?
No.
No?
No. She rented an apartment from him.
Yeah.
He was, and I quote, "a little whacked." When she was sleeping, he snuck in. Again, her words, not mine. He snuck in.
Yes.
With his machete.
Yes.
He cuddled with her. When she woke up in the morning, he was standing over her and said, "I love you."
Holy shit. So what did she do?
She calmly gets up, gets out, calls 911. Sarasota sheriffs come.
Okay.
They go in to arrest the man. He cuts one of the sheriff's hands.
Ooh.
And gets shot to death.
There you go. That's a good way to get to the grave fast, man. You fucking cut a fucking sheriff's hand with a machete. That's real good.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they frown upon that.
Yeah. So is this guy on drugs or what? Or is this guy completely just off balance? What was going on?
He was just off balance. He was literally a little whacked. Everybody said he was a little odd. He was a little strange. Again, he was sharpening a machete with a baseball bat. William, we're not dealing with somebody.
That alone says it all right there, right? I mean, what the fuck?
Even if he wasn't currently taking drugs,
right?
Chances are he took some crazy shit back in the day.
And he did
residuals. So,
yeah.
But hey, he loved her. He cut a motherfucker, and wow. Can't we all want to go out like that? That's the same. Right?
I mean, how like that woman's probably like fucking terribly fucked up for the rest of her life, right? I mean, think about it. Now she's got to think about like a man waking up next to her. Ugh.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing about that also will. This is a whole nother crease that you didn't even think about.
Right.
She just said he was a little whack. He was cuddling her with a machete saying, "I love you." She calmly got up, called 911, and just said, "Hey, come get this guy. He's a little whack." She said about the officer who got it, when he cut his hand, she said, "Oh my gracious, I hope he doesn't lose his finger."
Holy shit. Yeah. Well, listen.
I'm just saying, she doesn't sound like she's like, "Oh, so it's Thursday."
No, definitely not. I mean, listen, this only shit happens really in Florida. But again, I mean, who the fuck would do that? Sarasota. I mean, geez. Well, listen, ladies, keep your shit tight as far as your doors and your fucking windows. Make sure you have like cameras and shit. That's very important. Now that it's so easy to have cameras, it's so easy. You can go get one at Walmart. It's like $40 and it connects to your cell phone. And machetes, yeah. I mean, seriously though, you women really need to have a little bit more, a little bit more. But yes.
William, I'm ashamed of you, my guy.
Why?
We live in Florida.
Yeah.
You're Latino.
Yeah.
I tan really good.
Yep. Like George Harrison.
It's not. I kind of do. I kind of
do.
do.
Yeah. It's like that perfect tan. It doesn't go away.
I didn't expect for that to happen. But it's natural, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not a machete. It's not a machete.
Oh, no?
It's a machete.
A machete. Oh, there you go.
It's a machete, Papa.
It's a machete. Okay, yeah, that's right. You have to say it like that. But
I do. I'm sorry.
Whew.
Continue.
Machete.
Man wakes up with his machete.
His machete.
Mi amor.
Mi amor, I love you.
Didn't that just change the whole thing, right? That just
it sounded good for a second. For a second, it sounded
good. Mi amor.
And then the whole machete thing, kind of takes the whole thing to a left turn. So yeah, but well, Jay, thanks for that one. For What the F, Florida man with the machete professing his love for a woman. I love you. Oh my God, could you imagine every night that she goes to bed? Oh, I love you. Oh God,
it's like
poor lady.
It's kind of like the Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Good job. I'll likely kill you in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, anyways. Well, listen, thanks, Jay, for that, for What the F, Florida man, which is going to bring us to our main topic for tonight, which is I live next door to a murderer. So we're going to get into that here in a second. So, well, yeah, killer neighbor. Jay likes that one. Jay likes killer neighbor. Shit, I'm more, William. I like the other one, but Jay likes killer neighbor.
No flair. No
flair.
Pizzazz.
Crazy motherfuckers we live next door to. How about that?
Murder next door. Killer neighbor.
Don't say it like that. Damn, Jesus. Killer neighbor.
How else
all right.
do you say it?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Killer neighbor.
Now, say yours.
Tonight we're going to be talking about killer neighbors.
There you go. See? My killer neighbor.
My killer neighbors. We're coming right back with it right next few minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
At Fly US, your business is important to us. That's why we treat you like shit. We know you have a choice when choosing an airline: awful, dreadful, or terrible. And we promise you, we're striving to be awful. Fly US. Sit back, relax, and shut up.
Finally, you can play video games without gameplay. Available on the iFruit phone, drone, and all overpriced tablets, it's DigiFarm. All the mind-numbing tedium of an agrarian lifestyle combined with the soul-crushing loneliness of the internet in a game truly worth 99 cents. DigiFarm. Finally, you're actually watching the grass grow under your feet, digitally.
I'm a tiny farmer. I click on buttons and watch plants grow. If I get bored, there's always the farmer's daughter.
It has an incredible sense of achievement. Buy sprites. Feel better about yourself. Do it again.
Awesome.
The Digi family of mobile games. It's a revolution in human interaction. It's a revolution in social.
All right, guys, welcome back to Dark Fringe Radio. Tonight we're going to be talking about killer neighbors. See how I said it, Jen? See? Killer neighbors.
Killer neighbors.
Hey, don't make fun of me, jackass. But but yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about, killer neighbors. So listen, I came up with this idea, and as we go on through life, we're in our 40s. We've lived in many places. We go from place to place, house to house, apartment. When you start off, you're going to maybe an apartment, maybe a condo or something like that. And, you move from place to place a lot. And it's just normal course of action, right? As you go through through life, right?
Ebbs and flows.
Exactly. But in those times, you interact with different people. You interact with different neighbors, people that live around you. And tonight we're going to be talking about how some of those neighbors, well, killer neighbors, Jay. Killer neighbors. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I came up with this idea because it's actually happened to me. So I'm going to read you a story here, Jay. And we're going to talk about the story, and then I'll tell you about the backstory, how it's connected to me. So let's start off with this. This was April 23rd, 2021. Palm Beach Post. PBSO arrests Boynton Beach man in a 1985 cold case homicide of a 78-year-old Lake Worth Beach woman. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get into the details here. So, a 61-year-old man was arrested this week in the killing of a 78-year-old woman more than 30 years ago. According to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, investigators said DNA evidence linked the Boynton Beach resident to the once cold case homicide. Richard Lang was arrested in 1985, rape, kidnapping, and murder of 78-year-old Mildred Metheny. So he's being held without bail at Palm Beach County Jail. Lang, who was 25 at the time, denied knowing anything about the homicide when he was questioned by investigators recently. Defense attorney Scott Skyer, who represents Lang, said his client vehemently denies all of the allegations. He also is quoted on as saying, "We look forward to aggressively challenging the forensic evidence attributed to Mr. Lang." Skyer said in a written statement, "Nothing of Mr. Lang's past indicates a prosperity or a propensity for such abhorrent behavior, and given his age and health, we will argue that he should be released to home detention as we prepare for trial." So, on April 27th, 1985, Metheny left the house she shared with her 75-year-old sister on the 1300 block of Crestwood Boulevard, just north of 10th Avenue near Dixie Highway in Lake Worth. The widow who had moved from Arkansas, who had previously been found wandering in the neighborhood and needed assistance to get home. The family believed that the retired nurse may have had Alzheimer's disease or dementia, according to some of the reports at the time. So the neighbors told investigators they had last saw her walking in the area between 3:30 p.m. and 4 o'clock that day. Just before 10 p.m., a passerby driving on Old Indian Town Road on the 125th Avenue in Jupiter, more than 30 miles from her home, found Metheny lying naked and motionless on the dirt roadway. The 78-year-old woman was unconscious, bleeding from her head, and her clothing and bloodstained dentures were found alongside her on the dirt roadway. She died 11 days later from her injuries, according to the news reports at the time. The medical examiner at the time determined that she died of cardiac arrhythmia, a skull fracture, and bleeding of the brain. Shortly after the attack, the Lake Worth police lieutenant, in the years before the sheriff took over the department, told the Palm Beach Post that they were taking the crime personally. "Quote unquote, it's pretty bad when a grandmother goes outside her house for a walk and winds up knocked out in some dirt road outside Jupiter," Lieutenant Marty Kerner said. So in 2019, the sheriff's office cold case released a video on Metheny's homicide with previously unreleased information. Witnesses who said they saw Metheny on April 27th in 1985 saw her car with a young man near Lucerne Avenue in Lake Worth. The man would reportedly tell people that Metheny was his neighbor and he was taking her home. In March, nearly 36 years after the attack, forensic scientists in the sheriff's office crime lab were able to look at the DNA profile taken from the rape kit from Metheny's case and match it to the state's offender DNA database to Lang. This is where it gets interesting here, Jay. All right. In 2006,
I'm all in. You're in my area.
Yeah, this is crazy, right? So in 2006, Lang pleaded guilty to carrying a concealed firearm, and was sentenced to probation. This was not the first case that the sheriff's office cold case unit has made an arrest in. In 2017, investigators arrested Sheila Keene Warren for the 1990 homicide of Marlene Warren in Warren's Wellington Area Club residence. In the infamous case, Keene Warren is alleged to have dressed as a clown, gone to Marlene Warren's home, handed her flowers and balloons, and then shot her in the face. All right. So, this story happened here in the town we grew up in here, Jay. And this guy I lived next door to for 10 years. And, played with his kids, was over their house. I'm pretty sure I had dinner there at least once or twice.
Usually what happened back then.
Yeah. Especially when you're like literally right across the street from each other. You know what I mean? You become neighbors, you can become friends, all the time. It happens. And Jay was literally down the street from me. Literally.
I was?
Yeah, you were not far from where this all took place. You were literally down the street. This is when I was living on 9th Avenue. So you lived on 10th, right, Jay? I think it was
on Southwest 10th.
That's right. So, again, I live next door to this guy, and it's crazy to think that you spent all that time. And you knew there were suspicions, like I didn't think he would do that, but he was a little bit violent. He was a little bit violent, and there was things that he did. When he drank a lot, and you got
people a little bit off.
Yeah, listen, he drank a lot. He liked to get liquored up and pilled up and stuff like that. And I knew it. I was a teenager, but I saw. You know what I mean? I knew what to look for, and but I never saw anything else. Besides that, I never thought that it would have escalated as much as that, as what he was guilty for or supposedly guilty of, until he goes through trial and all that. But usually when they find DNA evidence, it's pretty damning, right?
It's like 99.7% chance it's not. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, again, this is a crazy story, Jay, right here out of Boynton. Who would have thought that this would have happened?
Crazy town, man. Boynton's a crazy
It is.
town.
It is weird in its own way. Own way.
Like 60 years ago, there was a bunch of dairy farms.
Right. Yeah.
And
nurseries,
And nurseries.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That was it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Not nurseries as in babies, but nurseries as in produce and food. Trees. So, trees. Yeah. But,
trees.
Yeah, that's all it was. And now, you grow up and you hear these things that happen, and it's just like, man, I was with this guy. I spent a lot of time with him, 10 years of my life across the street from him,
Crazy.
And just, so weird, man. But yeah, I want to show this video real quick here, Jay, that the Palm Beach County Sheriff's put out. I thought would be something kind of cool to share here. Hold on one second.
Yeah, man.
On Saturday, April 27, 1985, Mildred Matheny went missing. The 78-year-old from Lake Worth, Florida, left her home around 3:30 p.m., not knowing what was about to happen to her. Neighbors describe her as a woman 5'9", 120 pounds, with gray hair and blue eyes, who was last seen wearing an orange blouse over pink pajamas. Mrs. Matheny, who lived with her sister Gladys Nolan at 1321 Crestwood Boulevard, was believed to have dementia. She rarely left her house by herself because she would be confused and get lost. In past incidents where she wandered off, she was found walking near a laundromat located at 1015 13th Avenue North, Lake Worth. She was reported missing at 4:30 p.m., exactly an hour after she went missing. Mildred was a retired nurse and a widow with children and grandchildren. She moved from Arkansas to Lake Worth to live with her sister. Mildred is believed to have been seen in the company of a male driving a 1967 brown two-door Oldsmobile Delta 88 with white interior. They were last seen in the intersection of Dixie Highway and Lucerne Avenue near the Burger King restaurant. Mildred entered the vehicle, and the man told people passing by that he was her neighbor, and he was going to give her a ride home. But that was far from the truth. Instead, around 10 p.m., someone traveling on Old Indiantown Road and 125th Avenue North in Jupiter discovered Mildred naked and motionless on the dirt road and called the authorities. She was taken to Martin Memorial Hospital in Stuart, Florida. She had been brutally beaten about the head with a blunt object. Days later, Mildred Matheny died of her injuries. Her death was ruled as a homicide. She left behind her sister, her son Gary Matheny, and grandchildren. Till this day, her son cannot understand why anyone would hurt his mother. No case is too old to be resolved. This sketch was created by a PBSO artist showing what the suspect may look like. He is believed to be a Lake Worth man, missing a front tooth, and have frequented the Mambo Bar located at 620 South Dixie Boulevard, Lake Worth, during that time. Anyone with information regarding this case is asked to call PBSO at 561.
Well, yeah, there you go, Jay. I mean, obviously the case is at this point, but yeah, what a fucking horrible. Right? What the fuck is wrong with people, man? Really? What is wrong with people, man? Just fuck. God, man. Anyways, I ain't gonna get into the whole psychology of why. I know that was deep, right? Yeah, I know. But again, that's what we're dealing with, man. And that I fucking was around this guy. That's crazy, man.
It's crazy shit. I get it. I get it.
Well, Jay, that's my first one tonight. That's a good one to start off with. Jay, I'm sure you have something here too to share with us. So what do you have for us tonight for killer neighbors?
Well, for my killer neighbors, I mean, most of my neighbors were pretty cool. I mean, I was a nice, chill neighborhood we grew up in. For the most part, there's like this old German woman who lived with her old German son. Like she was like 90 and he was like 70.
Do you dress up like an SS soldier at night?
No, they just
okay.
They were
thank God.
Polite, just they kept to themselves because they didn't really speak. Then they had they were the only fully gated yard, and they would come out and you kind of wave, and they'd kind of
cool.
Okay,
all right,
yeah, it's
all
okay. Right. But there's a kid that's a couple years older than us. His name is Travis Moser.
Oh yeah.
So I actually found out some interesting stuff on this because I found out that all I ever knew was kind of the rumors and the hearsay from what we heard from our friends. So
you never knew what was right.
No, this guy Travis Moser grew up a couple blocks down from me. He was a couple years older than me. I remember he and I hung out a couple times, played sports together a couple times. But he had his group of friends. And again, he's a couple years older than me, and I had my group of friends. But he never struck me as a bad guy. He was, we ran in slightly different crowds. But as we were going through high school, I did know he fell into some different crowds. He ended up apparently getting all into crack.
Wow.
And November of '97, him and a friend were going to go rob a guy, the Publix manager. They were going to go rob him and just get the holiday cash because it was good. It was just before Thanksgiving, so there was a lot of money.
A lot of money in the drawer, yeah.
Now, when I was a kid or when we were younger, the rumors were crazy about how they took him, and I just remember the story being so elaborate.
Well, it's convoluted at best, though. You know what I mean?
But you knew it was all bullshit. It was, because everyone's like, oh, he ran in guns blazing, and somebody talked about like execution style, and it always struck me as strange because you just never seemed like that kind of guy. And turns out, as I did some research to find a little bit more about it, what happened was he was high on LSD and crack. Him and his friend did say they were going to go rob this guy. As they pulled up on him and Travis pulled out his .38, he said, "Give me your money." The guy said no and jumped up to run away. And at that point, Travis freaked out. In his words, he ended up shooting, pulling the trigger 5 times. 3 of those bullets hit and killed the guy they were trying to rob. So he did end up being convicted of first-degree murder and was sentenced to life in prison.
Wow. That's crazy.
He wasn't a bad guy,
No, but drugs. That's what drugs does to people, man.
I know, dude. It's sad and it sucks because, like I said, he was a bad guy and he tried to appeal it. He did go and confess on his own volition.
So there's some merit to that.
He turned himself in. He wanted to make sure he had a clear conscience. He said that in the court that he did it. He pled guilty. He was hoping they weren't going to give him first degree murder because they meant to rob him, not necessarily kill him, but they were going there to rob him. And those things, when they go sideways, sometimes that's what happens. And it's a tragic story because, again, he really wasn't a bad guy, and the family was always really, really cool. And I always kind of felt really bad anytime you go by the house after that, and you just kind of felt
weird, right?
He wasn't a bad dude, and it was a good family. And it was just one of those situations.
He just got fucked up. He got caught up.
Crowd and they poison your brain. It's a shame. So
right.
as I was kind of looking into it, you know, your heart can't break for the family, and you know, if it ever gets back to them, I will wish them all. I'm, you know, such a terrible thing to happen to, but that's my killer neighbor. It was one of those things. It was Boynton legend. It's around that southwest area.
Listen, it definitely was. I remember when that happened, and I remember a lot of different stories happening. You know,
Yeah.
I
couldn't believe any of them.
That's the thing. There were so many different stories. I didn't know which one was the right one. So I was like, it was one of those things that happened after, and I was just like, I don't know what really happened. Like, some people say this, some people say that, some people say this, you know. So it's just, I'm glad that you know what, that's great that you put some closure to that there, Jay, because you know, for a long time I didn't know what the fuck happened.
It up a little bit, man. I mean, again, it was a good dude who was with a bad crowd and got in a worse situation, and it
very, very bad. Fucked up, man. Sucks, man. Well, again, our hearts go out to the family, of course, and you know, we hope that they are able to heal and go get past that. I mean, it's just, I know it's a terrible situation, but you know, again, we just hope the best for the family that was involved with all that stuff. So, and both sides too, the one who got shot too as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Including the victim.
Including the victim. So, yeah. Well, Jay, that's a great one. I mean, that was definitely Boynton legend. No, that's okay. All right, Jay. Well, thanks for that submission there for Killer Neighbor. And I'm going to do one more, and it's also a Boynton legend. It is a Boynton legend. It is so much of a Boynton legend that it actually showed up on an episode of Cops.
I know this one.
Oh, you know this one, right, Jay?
I know this one.
Oh, yeah.
I know this
one.
So,
we actually went to school with this girl. She actually went to Atlantic. Yeah, and she was actually an underclassman. I think we were seniors by the time she was a sophomore or a freshman. But anyway, so she went to Atlantic High School.
Sophomore, but I can't remember. Yes.
Dahlia DiPolito. She is known here in Boynton as the lady who was the murder for hire plot that went disastrously wrong. And for those that don't know, I'm gonna school you in here. Yeah, I'm gonna hit them hard. And this actually showed up on an episode of Cops. It was great. The whole setup with Boynton Beach Police and everything. How they we'll get into it here in a second, but it's great. So the story goes as says. Dahlia DiPolito thought she was hiring a hitman to kill her husband, Mike, but it was actually an undercover officer, and the whole thing was, of course, caught on Cops. On the morning of August 5th, 2009, Dahlia DiPolito received the worst call of her life. It was the Boynton Beach Police Sergeant Frank Ranzi urging her to rush home from the gym. When she arrived, she was told that her husband, Mike DiPolito, had been murdered, and she was breaking down in tears. And all this was caught on Cops, Jay, too, which is fucking great.
All on tape.
It was all on tape. But this is all an elaborate setup. There had indeed been an attempt on ruse on Michael DiPolito's life, but it was Dahlia herself who hired her hitman to do so. Unfortunately for her, the hitman was an undercover cop, and it had all been caught on camera. Police had been tipped off weeks earlier about DiPolito's plan, and they made a stunning agreement with the producers of Cops to send in an officer to pose as a hitman and film it. Then they staged a crime scene in order to convince Dahlia that the murder had gone as planned. This is where it fucking gets great. And when investigators asked her to come to the police station to help them find suspects, Dahlia DiPolito agreed, unaware that they already had one. It was only when her husband entered the interrogation room she realized the jig was up, bro. So she was being charged with the solicitation of first-degree murder. Yeah, man, this was all caught on Cops. The whole setup was caught on Cops. It was a whole like full-on episode here in our
Boynton.
Yeah, Boynton, right? I mean,
Boynton.
Yeah,
there's no place like it on earth.
No, man, no. And so you see her reaction. The great thing was like you see her reaction from when the cop tells her that they found him dead, and it's just fake crying, and you just see right through it. It was so over the top.
Bad.
It was bad.
So
it was
cringe.
just it was exactly so cringe, exactly. And the expression on her face No, the best thing was the expression on her face, Jay, when her husband showed up at the interrogation room. She was like, "What the fuck? I thought you were dead." And he was like, "Nah, bitch. Nah, I'm working with the cops, and you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble." Oof. God, man. What do you think possesses people to do something like that, Jay? I mean, money? Is it just all about the money?
I mean, can we just reverse it just a hair?
Let's rewind it. Let's rewind it. Let's go ahead, Jay. Come on.
So she decides she wants to have her husband killed. Happens sometimes. Sometimes we throw dirty underwear on the floor.
It's like a Thursday.
We deserve a bullet to the head. Shit happens. You can only drop those trail walks so many fucking times. So she decides she wants him dead. She contacts what she thinks is a contract killer and turns out to be a Boynton Beach police officer. Now, at this point, 99.9% of professional law offices would do things like apprehend her and
not Boynton.
The evidence they have,
not
which
Boynton.
is a phone conversation. They might have to set up a sting where they go in and you meet the person and you. Not Boynton. No.
We're gonna call cops. We're like, cops know.
It's not gonna be a one-on-one meeting where she finally says, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna pay you $10,000. Gotta whack the guy." You know what I'm talking about? Hey, okay.
Yeah. Gotta make it look like an accident.
Right. So.
Right.
At that point, most police officers would be like, "Okay, you're now under arrest because I'm actually a cop. Here's my badge. You're screwed. Let's go."
You're fucked. Right. No, they took it to a whole nother level.
Calls cops. Says,
we got a hot one for you.
Check this.
Yeah.
Cop says, "Let's do it."
Let's do this shit.
They set up a whole. It is a 4-dimensional theater. It is literally. It is, you go into the fourth wall. I mean, they set up an entire murder scene.
They blocked off the whole fucking area.
They let her go over the top with the. Oh no!
I work by there now. It's funny, actually. I work by that area. Oh, it's great. But they blocked it off. Only in Boynton. And listen, exactly what Jay said. I mean, they put out this whole production. The crime scene, the footage of that, her reaction when she got to the jail and when he got in there in the interrogation room, all that stuff. And then her face when they finally tell her, "Hey, listen, you are being charged with the solicitation of murder for hire." And so, her face just sinks. And it's just like, man, fuck, what the fuck, man? Just leave the dude. If you want to just be, single, just go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then other people will bang him, and that's unacceptable. So, again,
that is how psychos do things. Right?
I'm going to point out. We are talking about a city in which there is a little league park directly next to a cemetery. Rest in peace. Then I'll pop up.
Pause. Little League team that actually won the Little League World Series in what year was that? Like 1999 or something like that?
98, 99. Yes. Also, same Little League fields that were on an episode of the Vanilla Ice Overhaul show, where the only thing that his company didn't take care of was setting up the alarm system, because that had to be set up with obviously monthly payments and whatnot. So Boynton never got around to it, and within 48 hours of the show leaving, all the shit was stolen.
Hey, there's Boynton. That's Boynton. Don't leave your shit out in Boynton. It's just don't leave your bike out there in the front. Don't leave your skateboard out.
He took my bike. I had like a 90-degree driveway. I had a good sized front yard for back in those days.
Yeah, your driveway was steep as fuck too.
It was. And my bike was right next to my door. And then some kid walked right up, got on my bike, and started riding away.
Right.
Had my brother not been out in the smoking room and seen it and called me, and I actually caught the kid on foot.
Nice. That's beautiful. I love that. You catch him right in the middle of the action. You know what I mean?
Sure did.
It's wonderful.
Sure
I love
did,
it.
man.
Love it.
Little shortcut.
Yeah, listen,
Anyways,
especially when you know,
anyways,
especially when you know it, and you have
don't leave
upper
your shit
hand.
out in Boynton.
Yeah, don't leave your shit out in Boynton. But yeah, again, Dahlia DiPolito, man, the murder for hire plot that was broadcast through national television because of cops and man.
Bad boys.
What a crazy show that is too, man, right? I mean, just following around law enforcement, you know. That's the only problem with that show that I didn't like. I couldn't watch it because it made me sick because all the jerky of the camera was like this, you know, they're running and shit like that. And you're just like trying to watch it. You're just like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
I can say I did get tired of weekly hearing someone be out of breath and hear their feet.
Yeah, they were out of breath, man. Yeah, they needed somebody with some better cardio. That motherfucker.
Listen, I mean, they got some shit on there, and that was back then. And police got,
yeah, they were carrying a 2-chip. Yeah, they were carrying a 2-chip. Yeah, back then. So
yeah, so I mean, I give it to them, but I can't say that sound was. I was like, man, if I wanted to hear this, I'd go jog my damn self.
Yeah, it was not appealing. On
awful.
Yeah,
it was awful.
But anyways, that brings it, man, to an end for Killer Neighbors for tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. All coming out of this crazy little city that we live in. But again, I just want to remind everybody how you can listen to the podcast. Please, you can check us out on darkfringeradio.com and follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dark Fringe Radio. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Really appreciate that. And that's it, Jay. Anything else for tonight before we say goodbye?
Last thing. Don't leave your shit out.
Never, ever. No. So thank you, Jay, for that. And again, thank you guys for joining us on another edition of Dark Fringe Radio. And we'll see you guys again next week.